Okay, so this is the path of the Breitling Orbiter balloon, the first balloon to go all the way around the world. And here we are in March.
And Breitling happens to be my name.
March 3rd. Breitling is 2 weeks away.
Okay, let me introduce you to Breitling. We know you're all familiar with the orange one in the background that's now come to rest here at the National Air and Space Museum, about an hour from our home in Annapolis, Maryland. But there's another Breitling that perhaps you're less familiar with. She was born the evening of March 17, 1999, just as Brian and Bertrand, with lots of help to be sure, were piloting their Breitling over our longitude here in Maryland, on their way to becoming the first to circumnavigate the world nonstop in, of all things, a balloon. I've been following for some months the stories of those brave and ambitious adventurers who'd been attempting this feat. I was drawn by their dedication to a task, equal parts ambition and whimsy, and their most nostalgic, almost poetic devotion to accomplish it using a method of travel over 2 centuries old. That while sitting in the hospital with my wife and our new daughter the morning after her birth, read in the paper that Brian and Bertrand had passed over our heads, so to speak, the night before. We'd not yet landed on the name for our little one when, glancing up from the paper, I suggested Breitling. The months of poring over various names ended that instant there with the 3 of us. It was perfect. We couldn't help but think that in no small way when Brian and Bertrand accomplished their goal and landed a few days later near, of all places, the remote desert locale of Mout in Egypt, a town Sharon and I had traveled through a year earlier to the day, that it was just meant to be, for all of us. In the 10 years that have followed, Breitling has grown up to be quite a girl, precocious, smart, and a voracious reader and skier. And for a 9-year-old, she's pretty well traveled, like her namesake, having been to Panama, Belize, Grenada, Mexico, Canada, and 22 of our 50 states. She's an honor student every year, likes to play her viola, and beat her dad at chess. She likes to go camping and loves animals, large and small, especially her 1.5-year-old Siberian Husky, Vegas, who she's helped train to become a sled dog. We simply marvel at the fine young lady she's become, and how well her name suits her. But of course it hasn't been without its challenges.
Okay, so how does it feel to be almost 10?
Feel old, like you.
Do you like your name?
Yeah, so when people make fun of me about it.
They make...
Rising.
I think most people think it's a nice name.
So that's Gary Jackson.
Who's Gary Jackson?
And then, of course, there are the minor corrections for those unacquainted with how to pronounce her name.
It's like Earthling, but from the planet Breit.
So, Brian, Bertrand, congratulations to both of you and your team on this upcoming 10th anniversary. We'll be celebrating it with you, of course. And while Breitling doesn't remember meeting you that day almost 10 years ago at the Air and Space Museum, she's seen pictures of you both holding her and wishes she could. Perhaps sometime you'll all get a chance to meet her again and reacquaint yourselves with that marvelous event. In the meantime, we'd like to leave you with a poem Breitling wrote this year at school and would like to read for you. One that's perhaps especially appropriate given your current pursuits. It's called Hope.
Hope by Bertrand Snyder. A light flickers at the end of a tunnel. It is silent. I am drawn to the light. I run, then leap, then fly, then soar. I am out of the tunnel embraced by light. I rejoice.
So, Brian, Bertrand, here's to clear skies and good sailing as you press toward your next horizon. We wish you and yours all the best.